Morning, YouTube. This is for the people out there that's been posting DIYs on uh, what do you call them? Fairings for roof racks. I kind of did some research on them. Found out that they were like pretty pricey. I mean, for a piece of plexiglass and a couple plastic brackets. So I watched a couple of YouTube videos. Um, Seen some people. There's only a couple videos on there where people actually made them themselves. So I said, well, let me give it a try. There was this one guy on there. He actually did a pretty good job, and he actually inspired me to try it. So I tried it. Really didn't cost me much. Plexiglass was free. Um, you know, some of the parts I got, from my job. Um, the toughest part was for the mountain brackets that I fabricated up. The most important thing was getting the angle on the bends correct so that it would sit the way I wanted it to sit. It is kind of big. It's about 9.5 inches wide by, I want to say, 37, 38 at its widest point. Um, but that's because the BMW OEM roof rack sits kind of high above the car. I mean, it's crazy. So I had to get something to, I had to think of something to, get rid of that gap in between the car and the roof rack. But I think it came out pretty good. Um, I painted the back side of the plexiglass black, cleared it on the back side. Um, the plexiglass, like I said, was free. It has a couple of scratches on the front. I didn't too much worry about that because going down the road is probably going to get nicked up anyway. So, it was free too. But I got it put together. Um, Kind of took a couple days to do it just to make sure my measurements were right. The holes that I had to drill lined up perfect. The angles on the brackets that I used to mount it to the actual roof rack were, within a 16th of each other. I ain't trying to be all engineering with it, but it came out pretty good. Um, I'd say all in all, it cost. Uh, I had to buy a couple of tools that I needed, especially the paint. But all in all, it probably ran me about $40 to make it. That's compared to 80, 90, for a fuel or Tuel, whatever you want to call it, Yakima, Yakima, Inno. Um, so I think it came out right, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Yeah, you might comment and say, "Wow, that thing is huge," but like I said, with the BMW OEM roof rack, it from the roof of the car to the top of the roof rack. I mean, it's about 6 to 8 inches tall. Once it's mounted, and I didn't want to take the chance of a small piece of glass, you know, and somehow the wind still gets up over it or under it or whatever, and it still makes the noise as I'm traveling down the highway. Because it did make a lot of noise on the highway up around 50, 55 miles an hour. I mean, it's to the point where it was unbearable, and I have to like close my sunroof, you know what I mean, and turn my music up. So I did this because I do travel a lot, and I do be up there 65, 70, 80 miles an hour. And, I just want to make sure that it, you know, stays a little quiet. But I'm going to show it to you, give you a few angles, And let me know what you think. I mean, like I said, it actually looks professional to me, if you ask me. I mean, but I mean, you could tell it's DIY, but you know, it came out pretty good to me. So let me turn this camera around and just give you guys a quick view. Okay, there you see it. Uh, like I said, it is pretty wide. I got it at 9.5 inches wide, and it's about 37 to 38 inches long. Uh, as you can see, I got one bracket there. You can see the bolts that I got there, center. You know, they line up perfect. I used a total of 3 brackets. These are like, this is nothing but some stock that I got from Lowe's, $5 for a 48-inch piece of it. And let me flip it flip it over and let me show you what they look like. That's what the bracket looked like. It was pretty much easy to do. Didn't have to drill any holes because the holes were already there. The paint on the backside, I used the wrong type of paint. I used some high performance Rust-Oleum paint, and I never used this paint again because it took forever to dry, and actually it's still a little bit tacky, and I let it sit overnight. But that's the back side of it. Let me flip it back over. Let me show you a side view of it. As you can see, it's a BMW OEM roof rack. And you know what, fellas? You see the little curvature right there? I actually mounted it backwards. So I'm gonna have to flip it and turn it around and put it the other way. I knew something didn't line up correctly. But you know, it's okay. It's nothing. It's something real quick to do. It'll still line up perfectly on the other side. But that's the way it is. That's the way it came out. And like I said, please let me know what you think. Tell me what you would have done differently. You know what I mean? Oh, and instead of using the black door edge guards, I kind of went clear just to kind of give it a little bit of contrast, you know, break up some of the black. I'm going to get it mounted on the car. I got some graphics coming in that I'm going to throw on it, you know, make it look a little bit more custom. Other than that, I think she should be okay, but I got to flip it around to the other side because I made the mistake of mounting it on the wrong side, because this is actually the front of the car. This is actually towards the rear. But hey, looks good. Let me know what you think.